Absolutely. Here's a powerful, continuous script for your motivational video titled, I Will Not Give Up. You might feel tired. You might feel like the world is against you. You might feel like every step forward is met with 2 steps back. But listen closely, this is not the time to quit. This is the time to rise. This is the time to push harder than ever before. Every failure, every setback, every moment of doubt is not the end. It is fuel. Fuel to drive you, to shape you, to mold you into someone stronger, someone unstoppable. You see, winners are not those who never fail. Winners are those who refuse to give up. They stumble, they bleed. They keep moving. Because deep down, they know that quitting is easy. But greatness requires perseverance. And you are capable of greatness. You have a fire inside that cannot be extinguished unless you allow it to die. And I am here to tell you, you will not allow. When people tell you that it's impossible, smile and prove them wrong. When obstacles block your path, find a way through them, over them, around them. There is always a way, but only for those who refuse to quit. Strength is not built in comfort. It is forged in struggle. Every challenge you face, every trial you endure is building the version of you that will one day stand unshakable, triumphant, and proud. So rise up. Rise up every time life knocks you down. Rise up when fear whispers that you are not enough. Rise up when doubt tries to chain you to mediocrity. Because giving up is not in your DNA. You are meant for more. You are meant to fight. You are meant to conquer. You are meant to leave your mark on this world. And when the day comes and you look back at all the battles, all the hardships, all the nights you thought you couldn't go on, remember this moment. Remember the moment you chose to fight, the moment you refused to surrender. That is when victory becomes yours. That is when you realize that nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop you, not fail, not anyone who doubts you. I will not give up. I will rise. I will fight. I will conquer. And so will you. Failure is often misunderstood as the end of a journey, but in reality, it is one of the most powerful forces that shapes growth, character, and long-term success. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has first experienced moments of defeat, rejection, or disappointment. These moments are not signs that you are incapable. They are signals that you are in the process of learning, adapting, and becoming stronger than you were before. When something does not work out, it is not a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of your current approach. And approaches can always be improved. Each failure carries within it valuable information. What went wrong, what needs adjustment, and what must be done differently next time. Those who understand this do not fear failure. They study it, learn from it, and use it as a stepping stone toward better results. In life, progress is rarely a straight line. It is filled with ups and downs, victories and setbacks, moments of confidence and moments of doubt. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not talent alone, but the ability to keep moving forward despite failure. Every setback tests patience, resilience, and belief in oneself. It forces a person to confront weaknesses, to refine skills, and to develop mental strength. Without failure, there is no true improvement because comfort never produces excellence. Growth happens when you are challenged, when things are difficult, and when you are pushed beyond what feels easy or familiar. It is important to understand that failure does not define identity. A failed attempt at something does not make a person a failure. It simply means that at that moment, the outcome did not match the expectation. But expectations can be adjusted, strategies can be changed, and effort can be increased. The human ability to adapt is one of the strongest tools for success. When failure is viewed through the lens of learning rather than defeat, it transforms into a guide instead of a barrier. It begins to show direction rather than blockage. Many of the world's most successful individuals experienced repeated failures before reaching their goals. They were rejected, overlooked, or underestimated, yet they continued forward. What separated them from others was not that they avoided failure, but that they refused to let failure stop them. Each setback made them more determined, more focused, and more aware of what needed to be improved. Over time, these accumulated lessons became the foundation of their success. Failure also builds emotional strength. It teaches patience when results are delayed and humility when things do not go as planned. It removes arrogance and replaces it with awareness. It helps a person understand that success requires effort over time, not instant achievement. This emotional growth is just as important as skill development because without inner strength, success becomes difficult to sustain. Instead of fearing failure, it should be embraced as a necessary part of progress. Every mistake is an opportunity to refine your path. Every setback is a chance to rebuild with greater wisdom. Every disappointment is a reminder that you are trying, and trying is the first step toward achieving anything meaningful. If failure is accepted as part of the journey rather than the end of it, then it loses its power to discourage and instead becomes a source of motivation. The truth is that no one moves forward without stumbling at some point. What matters is not how many times you fall, but how many times you rise again. Each time you get back up, you are stronger than before, more experienced than before, and closer than before to your goal. Failure is not a signal to stop. It is a signal to adjust, to persist, and to continue with greater determination. Success is not determined by how perfectly a person moves through life, nor by how many times they avoid mistakes, setbacks, or failures. Instead, true success is defined by endurance, by the willingness to continue even when everything feels difficult, uncertain, or overwhelming. The people who achieve greatness are not those who live without falling, but those who refuse to stay down after they fall. Life inevitably brings challenges that test patience, strength, and belief in oneself. In those moments, it becomes easy to feel discouraged or to think that giving up might be the simplest option. However, it is exactly in those moments that character is formed and destiny is shaped. Every individual who has reached a high level of achievement has experienced moments of defeat. They have faced rejection, disappointment, criticism, and failure. What makes them different is not the absence of these experiences, but their response to them. Instead of allowing failure to define them, they use it as a reason to push harder. When they fall, they do not interpret it as a sign that they are not good enough. They interpret it as a sign that they are still in the process of becoming better. This mindset creates resilience, and resilience is what separates temporary effort from lasting success. Life does not reward those who avoid difficulty. It rewards those who move through it. Every obstacle presents a choice to stop or to continue. Those who succeed consistently choose to continue. They understand that progress is not linear and that setbacks are not permanent. A single failure does not erase previous progress. Just as one success does not guarantee future ease, everything depends on persistence. Each attempt, even if unsuccessful, brings a person closer to understanding what works and what does not. Over time, these lessons accumulate and transform into experience, and experience becomes strength. Falling is not the opposite of success, quitting is. They learn how to stay calm under pressure, how to keep moving when motivation fades, and how to solve problems that once seemed impossible. These are not skills that can be learned from theory alone. They are developed through experience and repeated exposure to challenges. Setbacks also play a critical role in shaping patience. In a world that often values quick results, delays and failures can feel discouraging. But struggle teaches that meaningful progress takes time. It teaches that success is not instant and that every important achievement requires persistence. When a person faces repeated obstacles, they gradually learn to trust the process rather than demand immediate outcomes. This patience becomes a form of inner stability that helps them remain focused even when results are slow to appear. Resilience is not the absence of difficulty, but the ability to remain steady in the presence of difficulty. It is built when someone chooses to continue despite uncertainty. Each time a person overcomes a setback, they reinforce their ability to handle future challenges. What once felt overwhelming begins to feel manageable. What once caused doubt begins to build confidence. This accumulation of experience creates a stronger mindset, one that is less easily shaken by external circumstances. Struggles also help in developing emotional depth. When someone goes through hardship, they become more understanding of others who are also struggling. They develop empathy as they have experienced what it feels like to be challenged, to fail, or to start over. This emotional awareness is an important part of resilience, as it allows a person to stay grounded and connected rather than isolated by their experience. It also prevents arrogance, replacing it with humility and awareness of how unpredictable life can be. Another important aspect of setbacks is that they refine direction. Not every path chosen in life leads to success, and sometimes failure is what redirects a person toward a better path. What seems like a loss at one moment can become a turning point later. Many people only realize the value of their struggles in hindsight, when they see how those difficult moments push them toward better opportunities, better decisions, or stronger versions of themselves. Without those experiences, they might have remained on paths that were not meant for them. Strength built through struggle is different from strength built through ease. It is deeper, more stable, and more reliable. It is not dependent on external conditions, but on internal understanding. A person who has been tested by difficulty knows that they can survive more than they once believed. They carry that awareness with them into future challenges, which makes them more confident and less fearful. This quiet confidence becomes one of the most powerful advantages in life. In the end, struggles and setbacks are not interruptions in the journey. They are the journey itself. They shape character, build resilience, and reveal inner strength that cannot be developed any other way. Every challenge faced and every obstacle overcome adds another layer of endurance, preparing a person for greater heights ahead. Every obstacle that appears in life carries within it both a challenge and a possibility. First glance, obstacles often look like barriers meant to stop progress, to slow movement, or to create frustration. They can feel overwhelming, especially when they appear unexpectedly or when multiple difficulties arise at the same time. However, what many people fail to realize is that obstacles are not designed to end the journey. They are part of the journey itself. They are tests of creativity, patience, determination, and belief. For those who are willing to persist, there is always a way forward, even if it is not immediately visible. When faced with a barrier, a natural reaction is often to feel stuck. It may seem like there is no solution, no direction, and no progress. But this feeling is temporary and often based on limited perspective. Obstacles tend to shrink or disappear once a person begins to think beyond the most obvious path. The mind, when under pressure, has a tendency to focus only on what is directly in front of it. Yet solutions often exist outside of that narrow view. By shifting perspective, new possibilities begin to appear. What once seemed like a wall can become a doorway, a stepping stone, or even a redirection towards something better. Finding a way through obstacles requires adaptability. Life rarely follows a straight path, and rigid thinking often leads to frustration when things do not go as planned. Those who succeed are not necessarily those who avoid problems, but those who adjust to them. If one method fails, they try another. If one direction is blocked, they explore a different one. This willingness to adapt transforms obstacles from permanent barriers into temporary challenges. Flexibility becomes a strength that allows progress even in uncertain conditions. Persistence plays a critical role in overcoming obstacles. Many barriers only appear insurmountable at first because they require time, effort, or repeated attempts to overcome. Giving up too early creates the illusion that no solution exists. However, continued effort often reveals opportunities that were not visible in the beginning. Each attempt provides new information, each failure brings new understanding, and each adjustment brings a person closer to success. Over time, persistence breaks down even the most difficult challenges. Obstacles also encourage creativity. When the usual path is blocked, the mind is forced to think differently. This is where innovation is born. Some of the most effective solutions come not from straightforward thinking, but from exploring alternative approaches. Constraints often push individuals to discover methods they would never have considered otherwise. In this way, obstacles are not just problems to be solved. They are catalysts for growth and imagination. They expand thinking beyond limits that comfort would never challenge. Another important aspect of overcoming obstacles is belief. Without belief in the possibility of progress, even small challenges can feel impossible. Belief does not mean ignoring reality. It means trusting that solutions exist even when they are not immediately visible. This mindset keeps effort alive when circumstances seem discouraging. It provides the emotional strength needed to continue searching for answers instead of accepting defeat too quickly. Belief acts as fuel that keeps movement going during moments of uncertainty. History and experience repeatedly show that most obstacles are not permanent. They may slow progress, but they rarely stop it completely. Many situations that once felt impossible eventually become manageable through time, effort, and persistence. What once seemed like a dead end often turns out to be a detour leading to something unexpected but valuable. This understanding changes how obstacles are viewed. Instead of seeing them as final barriers, they become temporary tests that can be overcome with the right mindset. Obstacles also serve a deeper purpose beyond immediate problem solving. They build character. Each challenge faced strengthens patience, determination, and resilience. They teach the importance of staying calm under pressure and thinking clearly in difficult situations. Over time, a person who regularly faces and overcomes obstacles develops a stronger sense of confidence. They begin to trust their ability to handle whatever comes their way. This inner confidence becomes a powerful advantage in all areas of life. In the end, every obstacle contains within it the possibility of progress. The difference between stopping and moving forward lies in perspective, effort, and belief. When a person refuses to accept limitations at face value and continues searching for solutions, paths begin to open. There is almost always a way through, even if it requires patience, creativity, and determination to find it. Fear and doubt are two of the most powerful internal forces that can influence a person's actions, decisions, and overall direction in life. They often do not appear as external barriers, but as quiet thoughts within the mind, slowly shaping behavior and limiting potential. Fear creates hesitation, while doubt weakens confidence. Together, they can make even the simplest goals feel unreachable. However, it is important to understand that both fear and doubt are natural experiences. Every person, regardless of success or ability, encounters them at different stages of life. What truly matters is not their presence, but how they are handled. Fear often arises when stepping into the unknown. It appears when a person is faced with uncertainty, when the outcome of an action cannot be guaranteed, or when there is a possibility of failure. In many cases, fear is based on imagination rather than reality. The mind tends to project worst-case scenarios, creating situations that may never actually happen. This can lead to avoidance, where a person chooses not to act in order to escape discomfort. However, avoiding challenges only strengthens fear over time. The more it is avoided, the more powerful it becomes until it starts controlling decisions instead of simply existing as an emotion. Doubt works in a similar way, but targets self-belief. It raises questions like whether a person is capable, ready, or deserving of success. It slowly weakens confidence by focusing on limitations rather than possibilities. When doubt becomes dominant, even past achievements can feel insignificant. A person may begin to underestimate their abilities, comparing themselves to others and assuming they are not enough. This internal conflict can stop progress even when opportunities are available. Yet, like fear, doubt is not a fact. It is a perception, and perceptions can be changed. Facing fear and doubt does not mean eliminating them completely. Instead, it means learning to move forward despite their presence. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is action taken in spite of fear. Every time a person chooses to act despite feeling uncertain, they weaken the control that fear has over them. Over time, what once felt overwhelming begins to feel manageable. The mind learns through experience that fear does not always represent danger, and doubt does not always represent truth. One of the most effective ways to overcome fear is through action. Fear grows in inaction because the mind has time to create exaggerated scenarios. When action is taken, reality replaces imagination. The unknown becomes known, and uncertainty begins to reduce. Even small steps forward can create momentum. With each step, confidence builds and fear loses its intensity. Progress itself becomes proof that fear does not have absolute control. Doubt can be overcome by focusing on evidence rather than emotion. Past experiences, achievements, and lessons learned all serve as reminders of capability. When doubt tries to weaken belief, reflecting on previous successes helps restore balance. Growth is often gradual, and people tend to forget how far they have already come. Recognizing progress, even if it feels small, helps rebuild self-trust. Over time, this trust becomes stronger than doubt. It is also important to understand that fear and doubt often appear right before progress is about to happen. Many moments of growth are preceded by discomfort. When something important is about to be attempted, the mind reacts by creating resistance. This resistance is often mistaken as a sign to stop, but in reality, it can be a sign that growth is near. The presence of fear does not mean failure is ahead. It often means that something meaningful is being pursued. Training the mind to respond differently to fear and doubt takes time and repetition. Each time a person chooses action over avoidance, confidence grows stronger. Each time doubt is challenged with evidence and persistence, self-belief becomes more stable. Slowly, fear and doubt lose their authority and become background thoughts rather than controlling forces. They may still appear, but they no longer dictate direction. Ultimately, fear and doubt are part of the human experience, but they are not meant to lead. They are meant to be acknowledged and moved through. When a person learns to act despite fear and to think beyond doubt, they unlock their true potential. Progress begins to replace hesitation, and confidence begins to replace uncertainty. The ability to move forward even when the mind resists is what separates limitation from growth and hesitation from achievement. Persistence and determination are the driving forces behind every meaningful achievement in life. They represent the ability to continue moving forward despite difficulties, delays, failures, or discouragement. While talent, intelligence, and opportunity all play important roles in success, they are incomplete without persistence. Many people begin with strong motivation, but only those who maintain consistent effort over time are able to turn their goals into reality. Determination is what keeps a person going when motivation fades, and persistence is what ensures that progress continues even when results are not immediately visible. Life rarely rewards instant success. Most worthwhile goals require time, effort and repeat 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 effort and repeated 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 attempts. In the early stages of any journey, progress often feels slow or even non-existent. This is where many people lose hope, assuming that lack of immediate results means lack of ability. However, true progress is often happening beneath the surface. Skills are being developed, understanding is deepening, and experience is being built. Persistence is what allows a person to continue during this invisible phase of growth. Trust in that effort will eventually lead to results. Determination is closely linked to mindset. A determined person does not view obstacles as permanent barriers, but as temporary challenges that must be overcome. Instead of asking whether something is possible, they focus on how it can be done. This shift in thinking changes everything. Problems become puzzles to solve rather than reasons to stop. Even when situations become difficult, determination keeps the focus on the goal rather than difficulty. Mental strength is what allows progress to continue even in unfavorable conditions. Setbacks are an inevitable part of any journey. No path towards success is free from failure or disappointment. However, persistence transforms setbacks into lessons rather than endings. Each failure provides information about what needs to be improved. Instead of being discouraged by mistakes, a determined person uses them as guidance. This ability to learn from failure is one of the most important aspects of long-term success. Without persistence, failure becomes a stopping point. With persistence, it becomes a stepping stone. stone, 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 stone. One of the most powerful aspects of persistence is the ability to build resilience over time. The more challenges a person faces and continues through, the stronger they become mentally and emotionally. What once felt overwhelming begins to feel manageable. Difficult situations that once caused doubt begin to build confidence instead. This gradual strengthening process is not immediate, but it is extremely powerful. It creates a foundation that allows a person to handle even greater challenges in the future without losing focus, 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 losing focus. Determination also helps in overcoming external discouragement. In many cases, people may face criticism, doubt from others, or lack of support. These external voices can be discouraging, especially when progress is slow.